Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Look, I'm so excited. I got my mic actually out and working. So I'm hoping you can hear me all right. And I'm super excited to be here this morning. Today is Friday, April 21st. And I'm going live today to talk about kind of a few things I've learned from some of the greats, people like Oprah and Jay Shetty and Ed Milet and Tony Robbins. And the list goes on and on about more importantly, what I'm going to share with you is about being confident. And that's not always easy. I remember I have a picture. I have to find it someplace. It's from 2014, and I remember I was just recently homeless from what had happened with a really devastating divorce. I was just coming out of that. I was sleeping on my girlfriend's futon, and I remember like hosting this like event to bring people back into what I was doing with horsemanship and training and all of this stuff. And I looked great. I mean, like my hair was great. I had this really great jacket on. I was super fit. And I even had like these really sexy tall boots on. And I remember I was walking and I had this great smile on my face. And I was like, and then I looked back at that photo. I'll have to find it because it's so powerful. I looked back at that photo and I was like, I was terrified. I was so worried. I was about everything. Are the horses going to do the right thing? Are people going to show up? Are people going to sign up? Are people going to do this? Am I going to be okay? Is it like constant? It was like the monkeys were definitely running the zoo that day. Which apparently I live in a zoo, but sometimes your brain does. And I remember that moment, and it was like unbelievably successful. Everybody had a great time. I had tons of people show up, and luckily I had a lot of people sign up for my sessions and my lessons. And so I at the end of the day, I went home and I was like, why did I spend all that time worrying? What was going on in my brain, and what goes on in your brain when you've lost confidence or you're not feeling confident about yourself? And there's one thing that I do absolutely all the time that I just is my go-to, and I recite this formula, and it's from straight out of Think and Grow Rich. It's not nothing new, and it's nothing that anybody would be surprised about. And it's super simple, and it's called the self-confidence formula. And anytime, and there's 5 parts to it. And anytime I'm thinking about something and I feel myself lose confidence, I just go into the self-confidence formula and I think about what part of me is not feeling confident and I tap into that. Like if like somebody, especially if you're on social media, you ever get on social media and see like somebody doing like really amazing stuff and you were like, what? How come I'm not doing that? Epic fail, right? And so I go, wait a second. And so I would tap into the part of the self-confidence formula that says, I eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism, and discrimination by developing love for all humanity, including yourself. So I'm going to go through the self-confidence formula. This is such a great thing. It's a great topic. You can write it down. If you want a copy, I can send it to you. Just drop me a DM and I'll send you the self-confidence formula. But it starts off like this. It says, first, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and here and now promise to render such action. When you say that word, when you say those words and that phrase right there, just saying that puts you in a better vibration to go and take action. Because taking action doesn't mean necessarily like putting in a bunch of long hours and hard work and just toiling through the day. Action could be having a conversation with someone, sending out an email, posting a video that is meaningful to you or your audience, writing a handwritten note. I don't know about you, but I like to write, and I like to like actually write in pencil because there's something about the scratch of the pencil across the paper that I enjoy. And so I enjoy writing handwritten notes. It allows me to practice my script, which I have after years of practice, very nice handwriting, but it took a lot of practice. And I enjoy like doing a handwritten note. I have these really cool custom stamps, and I like to put, like, it has my logo on it, and it's very cool. Like, how is it that so cool that I have the Xenogen logo on a stamp? And so when somebody gets it, they're like, wow, they already see the horse, they can recognize it. They can go, oh, it's something different, right? And who enjoys getting a handwritten note from somebody? I know I enjoy writing them, right? So, and who enjoys doing things that connect you with people that could potentially, be a part of your life that support you, like that. And that's really, it's something I learned from Grant Cardone. He says the more people that know you, the more people can help you. If people don't know you, they can't help you, right? And allowing yourself to just be in that state of receivership. So just saying that first sentence, and I'll say it again. First, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards his attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Again, putting yourself into that position to where it's just that simple. Because when you say those words, what are you actually starting to feel about yourself? I know I have the ability, and I know, and I promise that I will take action towards developing that ability. And that puts you in a different vibration already. That puts you in a place of a higher level of gratitude. If you have the ability to do something, are you more likely to do it? Absolutely. So just saying that. And then the second part, second, I know that the dominating thoughts of my mind will reproduce themselves in outward physical action and thereby transforming themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I concentrate my thoughts daily upon the task of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Now, here's something really interesting about that. And if you're watching, drop me a comment. I want to hear, like, in what situations do you lose confidence? Is it when you're with a different leader? Is it when you're in a new environment? Is it when, like, for a long time, I was really nervous going to networking events. I know me, people that know me, you'd be like, you were nervous going to a networking event? They're networking. People are all there, like, wanting to meet other people. It's the whole point. But there is a deep-seated fear of rejection. And so I would have to go and really think about that second part. I know the dominating thoughts of my mind. Am I fearing rejection? So I would replace that thought. Because I know that whatever I'm thinking about will reproduce itself in outward physical action, either something I'm doing or something I'm attracting, or something you're doing or something that you are attracting, and therefore transform itself into physical reality, right? Because when you put the thoughts and the feelings and the actions and everything, and all the vibration and alignment happens, it's universal law that it will show up in matter in the world of the 3D. So be careful of your thoughts and concentrate on daily, hourly, if necessary, about who you want to be. How do you want to show up? And create a clear mental picture of that person. And then the third, I know the principle of autosuggestion, that any desire that I persistently hold in my mind. And I was just listening to Esther Hicks, and I don't know about you, I really struggle with the whole Abraham, and when she starts referring to herself in the third person, and then sometimes she's sarcastic, and I'm like, I'm so confused by her message anyway, that I like her sarcasm. I'm like going down the rabbit hole, and then I realize she's being sarcastic, and I'm like, I have to change gears. So she's very challenging to get into the rhythm of listening to the message. But once you kind of can get around the annoyance that she refers to herself and her former partner who's passed and Abraham, and you can kind of just try and put that aside and listen to the actual message that she's giving, it's very powerful. Because she says, and I was listening to her this morning, and she said something really great. It's like any desire that you persistently hold in your mind. And now here's the key. That desire isn't about just having something you want to get yourself out of pain. That desire is something that is attracting you towards being a higher and better version of yourself. Because if you have a belief system around it, and I had for a long time, I'll never own a farm. I never own my own place. And I believed that for a long, long time. And when I was married, because that was what he kept promising. And I kept believing that. And I put myself in a place where I had developed learned helplessness, and I became a victim to whatever his whims or desires were. And so I created a really awesome story around, well, if he's not going to provide, buy a house. I mean, we bought all kinds of other shit. Like, what's wrong? Why can't we just buy a house? And so the belief came, I'll never own a farm. And so no matter how much you desire whatever that is, if you have a belief that contradicts that desire, it's going to be very challenging. That doesn't mean stop expressing your desire. That just means figure out how to reshift the belief system that is contradicting your desires, because that is going to close the circuit. It's going to shut the door for that desire. The desire will never trump the belief system. The belief system will always prevail when it comes in the way of your desires. So persistently holding those desires, seeking some practical means of attaining the object back of it, you must do it from a place of confidence. And I don't mean like a con man sort of fake bravado. I mean a place of faith, because confidence is actually another way to look at faith. I have faith in myself. I have a belief in myself. I have a belief in the universe. I have a belief in alignment. I have confidence in the universe and in myself. And then fourth, clearly writing that desire down and a description of your definite chief aim in life. And never stop trying to continue to develop the level of faith and self-confidence that you need to have for its attainment or attraction. And then keep going back. Principle of autosuggestion, that any desire I persistently hold in my mind will seek some practical means of attaining the object back of it. And when the why is big enough, you can overcome anyhow. And then fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I engage only in transactions that benefit all whom it affects, including yourself. Like, you got to look at, especially in relationships, looking at the transactional relationships you're in, and you decide how they are showing up and how you are showing up. And those transactions, when you are in a transactional relationship, make sure that they are benefiting you and the other individual. And as you start to look at your relationships and determine where they need to be in your relationship labyrinth, it's a topic we talk about in my masterminds, is you understand at what level you go first. You always go first. Like, you always put your desire first, and you always put, your intentions and your actions first, right? Setting your intentions and your desires, that has to go first. The universe, otherwise the universe is just going to throw at you whatever you have, whatever belief system just, makes its way to the surface on any given day. And I don't want to live my life like that. I want to be in control of my desires and what beliefs are driving them. And how you do that is through this confidence and having faith and knowing how and when to release those negative belief systems that are getting in the way of your desires. Succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. When you are in alignment, you will attract the right people that will cooperate with you instead of argue with you or doubt you or shame you or make you feel bad or gaslight you or manipulate you, right? So be willing to serve others, and they will be willing to serve you. And when you're in alignment, those right people show up. And you get into alignment by eliminating hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism, and discrimination. And you do that by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude to others can and will never bring me success. That doesn't mean you don't have boundaries and you bring everybody in because you need to kumbaya love on everybody. That it just means that no matter where they are in your labyrinth, a negative attitude towards them is only going to cause you harm. It's like anger. It's like drinking the poison, expecting them to feel the pain, right? Like, I'm going through a really tough situation right now where at the barn where I'm at, where the lady's doing some pretty inappropriate stuff, and I don't like it out there. right? But that doesn't mean I have to have a negative attitude towards her and call her names or, oh, she's such a X, Y, and Z. I can just say, this behavior is and is not okay. It's out of alignment. And I'm going to make sure that she is not in my circle or in my labyrinth. And whether that's, however that shows up is not up to me. That's up to the universe. And you can cause others to believe in you by believing in them and in yourself. And then sign your name to this formula. I have it written out and I sign my name. Commit it to memory. I've said this so many times over the years. And every time I do it, it sort of hits that reset button for myself and allows me to really come into a place where I go, click. Yep, got it. I now know that I have the ability to achieve my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself continuous and persistent actions towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. So go into that. Think about what are the things, I call them the adaptives there are 5 areas that will pull you out of your natural state if you allow them to and affect your level of self-confidence. So ask yourself, what are those 5 things? If you want to know what those 5 things are, just drop me a message and I'll send them to you. And if you aren't following me, make sure you are subscribing to my channel and follow me on social so you can continue to get these incredible words of wisdom and all of my hundreds of thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of hours of investing in myself and in the people that do come into my life to have an experience that's incredible, either through one of my masterminds or one of my online courses or coming to me personally to work with my horses. So we're expanding some programs. We have Fun Day Friday coming up every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can register. I'll put the link in the comments. You can register for that and always believe in yourself. It will change your life. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you're following me on social and have an amazing day.